Some things are really complicated in the world and in politics, and they require deep knowledge. They require speaking to experts. They require understanding different disciplines and considering a lot of different components: nuclear energy, string theory, postmodernism, whatever. I think you understand. The right amount of taxation to balance not properly funding social programs while not disincentivizing work or whatever, right? There's a lot of complicated stuff that exists in life. We have a really simple grand theory in front of us, which explains Donald Trump's behavior as of late, and it doesn't require this deep and nuanced knowledge of anything like string theory or taxation. He is terrified that I'm talking about people like you, are going to vote in November. And more specifically, he's terrified that you are going to vote for someone other than him. If you just look at the last 2-3 weeks in American politics, just about everything that Donald Trump has done publicly relates to that fear, which has become an existential fear for him because his political life depends on how you vote in November. Don't imagine that it's about how other people vote. It's about how you vote. You have agency in this. And Donald Trump is scared to death, his political life, that you might vote for somebody else. Donald Trump demoting his campaign manager, Brad Parscale, because he saw he was losing in the polls. And he reportedly was on the phone furious with Parscale, and ultimately Parscale is demoted. That is because Donald Trump is scared that he's going to lose if Brad Parscale sticks in as his campaign manager. Donald Trump's new tone on coronavirus, which lasted like 3 days, which included, carrying around his mask and saying it could get worse before it gets better, a more sort of somber, sober tone. It was just desperation to turn polling around. His idea was, let's just ignore it, open up, pretend everything's going back to normal. That failed. He knows that the failure on coronavirus is one of the main drags on his approval rating. And so he takes a new tone. That's all it is. And it only lasted about 3 days. Trump opposing vote by mail because he thinks vote by mail will hurt his reelection. And it will. I'm going to show you the new polling data on that. Trump correctly perceives if more people vote by mail, that's probably not good for me. It's good for Joe Biden. He's right. I will explain why. So Trump's motivation to stop vote by mail, by which we really just mean expanding absentee ballot access, his real motivation is not, it's going to be fraudulent, as he says. It's that it's just not going to be good for him. Announcing that he's banning TikTok could even relate to this. Now, will he ban TikTok? We don't know. Like most things, we were supposed to get a new healthcare plan yesterday. We didn't get it. He announces many things that never happen. Comedian Sarah Cooper's videos about Donald Trump go giga-viral on TikTok, and they really don't make Trump look good. It was TikTok users that allegedly organized that coordinated mass ticket request for Trump's Tulsa rally, which ended up with a 2/3 empty arena. So again, going after TikTok could be trying to look strong on China. It also could be that Trump perceives that it's going to help him in terms of his election to ban TikTok. Kneecapping the post office by putting in his huge millionaire donor as the postmaster general. If people are going to be voting by mail, delay the delivery of the ballots by hurting the post office. Perfect strategy, right? Every action is in the context of how can Trump get himself reelected. Reportedly being open to help from Russia, China, and either other countries. And we'll talk about that later today. There's a new interview there, which is completely out of hand. It's because Trump is desperate that he's going to lose and he'll take anybody's help that he can get. And then in the end, as Trump realizes that some people are truly so committed to his removal that they would crawl over broken glass and dodge landmines to vote to remove Donald Trump, he floats the idea last week of delaying the election. Now, I have to tell you, I wish I was as confident that Trump was going to lose as Trump seems to be that he's going to lose, in the sense that you would only do all the things Donald Trump is doing if you were pretty reasonably sure that you had a good shot at losing this thing. So while publicly Trump says we're doing great in Florida, we're doing great in Florida, both of them, et cetera, he knows that really he's not doing well, and he knows that he may well lose. And I am not as confident as Trump seems to be that he is going to lose. Over the last 7 days, some polls have tightened up in Trump's favor. Now he's still behind, but it's still, 5 weeks to the election. I'm sorry, no, we're still 2 months, 3 months to the election. I'm getting confused. We're 4.5 weeks from the first ballots being cast, but we're still almost 3 months from the election, 3 months to the day. You don't want to see polls start to tighten now. That's a bad sign. Now, everybody has a different idea about what drives Donald Trump. And I got some emails over the weekend saying, Trump's worried that if he loses in November, he's going to end up in prison. I actually don't think that he's worried about that, because I don't think there's really any chance that it's going to happen. And I know that I continue to hear from people who say Trump's going to get indicted for this, Trump's going to get indicted for that. I don't think so. I think that there will be some financial crimes for which his companies maybe will be held accountable with fines, but Trump's not going to prison. And anybody waiting for that, I think, is going to be waiting for the rest of their lives. This is simply about Donald Trump's narcissism, Donald Trump's delusions of grandeur, and the constant power trip that he is on. He doesn't see himself as a loser. And losing is, to use their language, losing is beta. I don't think Trump in practice even wants to be president. He wants to be president in theory, in terms of the power that comes with being the president of the United States. Trump is a cornered animal who perceives a threat right now. He has the fight response rather than the flight response. The flight response might be, I'm going to resign or turn things over to Mike Pence or whatever before this goes bad in November, if indeed that's what's going to happen. Trump has the fight response. And we know from studying the animal kingdom that this is dangerous territory to be in. All of his actions from now until November should really be interpreted under this framework, and we just can't let him do it. It's actually that important. And the numbers that we now have relating to vote by mail versus vote in person are a huge signal about why on that issue, Trump is digging his feet in the ground, sticking his head in the sand, drawing a line in the sand, whatever metaphor or analogy I'm mixing up here. You all know what I'm talking about, and opposing vote by mail. Let's talk about that next. If you are anything like me, you probably aren't thrilled with the idea of going into a doctor's office right now. And thankfully, there's a practical and affordable way to take control of your health and get personalized care from the comfort of your home. It's a service called SteadyMD. They're one of our sponsors. You take a quiz, you get matched with a licensed primary care physician who understands your health needs. You have a 1-hour video call with your new doctor. You establish a meaningful relationship with them. And after that, your doctor is available to you anytime by text, phone, or video chat. This is not a random doctor on call. Each doctor at SteadyMD has a limited number of patients, so they actually have time to listen to you. You get the personal attention that you deserve. They can do almost everything an in-person doctor can do: perform medical evaluations, talk to you about health concerns, send prescriptions to your home or local pharmacy, and anything they can't do online, they'll quickly set you up with an in-person provider to do, things like blood tests, as an example. You don't need insurance. It's only $99 a month with no other fees or copays. There are so many practical advantages to using SteadyMD for primary care, and it's also so much more affordable. Go to steadymd.com/Pakman to take the free quiz, see which doctor is right for you. I took their quiz. They matched me with a doctor who specializes in my particular health needs and situation. The doctor they gave me is a really perfect fit for me and my medical needs. There's no risk, no commitment to get started. Just click the link right underneath this video.